All right. So we don't have to start right now. We should start in like a second. So
we're not starting? This isn't part of it?
This isn't part of it.
But now we're talking about it. It has to be part of it.
Okay, it's part of it.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we're in.
Welcome. This is the Endurant AI podcast, the best podcast surrounding AI in business.
Absolutely.
Or it will be.
It already is.
Or it is right now?
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Okay.
Should we say our names? We should say our names.
Yeah, I guess we should.
Yeah.
That might be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm Brendan Engel.
I'm Tyler Ames.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, great.
Yeah. We don't have titles. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can just jump into it.
Let's go ahead.
All right. So today we kind of wanted to talk about, a general what is AI, right? What is artificial intelligence? What is it not? And, what can it actually do for your business, right?
Absolutely.
And so with that, we can just jump right in, I guess,
Yeah.
Okay. So artificial intelligence, a lot of people have different definitions of this, and a lot of them are not well-founded.
No, so like a lot of them are just kind of make-believe stories about sci-fi, just like robots and things like that.
Doom and gloom stories.
Yeah, also like doom and gloom, like end of the world stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that.
We don't have to worry about that, as long as you're responsible with it, right?
Yeah.
We'll get into that too. But the best definition for artificial intelligence is systems that are capable of performing tasks that previously could only be completed by humans, right?
Right.
So we see this all the time, right? And so if you go into like branches of AI, there's a lot of them, right? So you have machine learning. Those are programs that can teach AI from data sets without any specific programming. You have deep learning, which is almost like you were saying, like a subset of that, really.
Yeah, it's basically machine learning,
version.
but a deeper version where it's learning from itself. It can learn from its own errors.
And that has like what they call artificial neural networks. So like they basically, the way that they map out our brains is, you have neurons and they all connect, right? And so you basically have artificial nodes and they all kind of connect.
Right.
And so they're all able to learn from each other in that way, right?
Yep.
So that's a very abbreviated version of that.
Yeah.
But, so we have those two. Then you have natural language processing, and that's going to be like your ChatGPT and everything.
Yeah, that's basically, it helps computers be able to understand language, natural language, just kind of, so in any language you're talking, like say you're talking with English, you actually talk to a computer and it'll talk back in English instead of with code.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And so our actual definition for that was just a tool enabled by machine or deep learning that lets computers read, write, understand languages that humans use, right?
Exactly.
Pretty simple. So, that's going to be, and honestly, what's really funny is a lot of people, going back to the wrong definition of AI, a lot of people look at that natural language processing, just the LLMs and the ChatGPTs and everything,
right?
And they think that that's all AI is.
No, yeah, right? For sure. That's what my mom thinks.
And that's like, isn't it? Yeah, that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
And it's like, nothing could be farther from the truth.
No.
There's like all this stuff. And even, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we've had AI for decades. I mean, decades.
Dude.
I mean,
it's crazy.
Think about video games. You have NPCs, they're AI.
Yeah.
AI has been around for so long, but AI, is changing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's constantly evolving, right?
Oh, and especially after the big boom in 2021, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Yep. So you have those, right? And that is a big part of AI, but it's not all. And then beyond that, you have things like computer vision. That's things where you can train like, a camera to look at a specific scenario. Like say a manufacturing, say you have a manufacturing process and it can like take a picture of that and say, hey, this is defective, right? That'd be an example of computer vision AI, right?
It's basically the same thing as natural language processing, but for imagery. So like it can actually help computers understand imagery.
Yep. Instead of text.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities there. Yep. There's a little bit of difference, but yeah. And that's another good example. That'll be like your facial recognition.
Yep.
Like the facial recognition on your iPhone.
Right. That's artificial intelligence.
That's artificial intelligence.
And it's been there for years.
Yep. Been there for a while. Yep.
And the same with robotics. We also have robotics here. We're talking about AI actually being used in the physical realm.
Yep. Exactly.
Where we can use it in factories that are or dangerous jobs, right? We could use AI to where, maybe a human shouldn't be working in.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of an interesting thing about robotics is that, there are like a lot of people talk about the jobs aspect.
Right.
Where it'll take like jobs and everything. And there's some truth to that.
There is, yes.
But there's also the thing where kind of like I think what you were kind of saying just now was it can be in dangerous situations
hmm
that humans can't be.
Right. I mean,
Right.
there are, and also
Like
think about the applications for space travel.
yes,
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about zero gravity environments or no oxygen.
Yeah.
You could have a machine in there that's intelligent as we are, if not more.
Yep.
And
100%.
it's not going to die.
Yep.
It's not going to. There's nothing that could go wrong.
Doesn't need constant oxygen. To
exactly.
live.
I mean, we can manufacture it to survive any kind of climate or environment.
Yep. And it's pretty amazing. Yep. Yep. Or even think about like Chernobyl. You want people to like go in and do more cleanup there.
Yep.
To a degree that humans ought not to.
Robots could do that.
Exactly.
Yep. I mean,
a lot of benefits, dude.
You do have people going in there though. They're taking pictures of the radiation.
Isn't
And
that
it's, nope.
That's not for me.
Not for me either. That's why I'm on this couch.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we're on this couch.
Yep.
Yep. Much better.
Oh yeah.
Then you have decision making and reasoning.
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't know much about that.
No, me neither.
Okay. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like we aren't experts in AI by any means.
No.
We do want to preface that by saying that.
Well,
right?
let's just say this: we're not AI professionals, but we
Yeah.
are professional AI users.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
We use it on a daily basis.
We do.
Right.
It's in our lives.
And we're always actively learning about it, right?
Yep.
So, and that's honestly kind of the core of this podcast is we're trying to bring what we're learning
Mhm.
to you guys, right? And specifically business owners, right? I mean,
Exactly.
we're trying to bring practical AI solutions to small businesses, right?
Right.
And so obviously with some of these branches of AI, they're going to be a little out of reach for some small businesses, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a mom and pop store,
Mhm.
that only has a few employees or something, you're
Right.
not going to be using robotics. You're not really going to be using, well, I should say you probably won't be using computer vision.
Probably not.
Maybe a little bit, but I mean, that's pretty advanced.
I mean, you could do it for security, but you're a mom and pop shop. You're not going to.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about that too much. I don't think.
Exactly. Yep. You're probably going to be, honestly, you'll probably be using the decision-making reasoning.
Yeah, that would be
the
a good
most,
option.
right?
Yeah. Whatever that is, right?
Yeah, whatever that is. Well, I think that's literally what it sounds like, where it's like,
Yeah,
it's like a logic process.
like I mean, most LLMs actually are starting to get there.
They are, exactly. Yep. It's like the very advanced parts of LLMs that are more analytics based
Mhm.
and less textual based, right?
By the way, if you don't know what an LLM is, that is a large language model.
Yep. And that's what ChatGPT is. That's what
Claude
any
or
of these,
Gemini,
yes,
Grok,
deep learning even, or DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
Yeah, so that's that part. Now, here's an important section.
hmm
What AI is not.
Right.
And I want to hit on this hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
AI is not an independent program or function that can exercise free will.
hmm
AI does not have free will.
No.
AI has to operate
Mhm.
just like any other computer program within the confines of how it was programmed.
Exactly.
Now, with some of these more advanced like LLMs or, some of these other categories too, if you program, an AI function, AI system, whatever, to, sorry, I have to remember.
You're good.
But if you program any AI with a more advanced features and you teach it to think in a certain way that could be harmful, then it could be harmful, right?
Yeah.
So we're not.
I mean, well, think about this. Think about when ChatGPT first released.
Yeah.
Think about how there were no guidelines and they couldn't release it to the public. They had a beta.
Yeah.
And it was just, you could pretty much ask it to do whatever you want. I
Yeah.
mean, there were people out there that were testing it to the limits. I mean, they were just saying like,
Yes.
hey, how do I break into a house successfully? And
Yeah.
ChatGPT would let you. I mean, it would just tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
Professionally, like
Yeah.
step by step.
And so that's kind of crazy, right?
Right.
And so when you don't have parameters on these things, yes, it could be very harmful. But I
Mhm.
guess what we mean by this is it cannot function, like we were saying, it cannot function outside of what it was programmed to do.
No, we're not going to have like an Age of
You know.
Ultron.
Yeah.
Take over.
Nothing like
from
that.
Marvel. So
No.
we're good.
Not unless someone specifically develops that.
We don't have Tony Stark, so we're good.
No, we don't have Tony Stark, so we're good. Right. But it's funny, I completely forgot about that movie. That's exactly
really?
what happens in that movie.
Yeah, he
'Cause it's
literally
literally-
learns everything,
Yeah.
and he says, "Oh, humanity."
And he turns rogue by himself, right?
Yeah, he does.
Isn't that funny?
Yep. He wasn't programmed to take over the world. Obviously,
Yeah.
Tony Stark wouldn't do that.
Right.
Wasn't he like an offshoot of Jarvis?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then what happened I don't remember, but
I don't remember either.
something happened to where he became corrupt.
Yeah, he actually just, I think he like consumed all the media of the world and started hating humanity. That was the problem.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that won't happen.
No.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, if AI saw what we were doing, it might.
You might.
It might.
Okay, number 2, what AI is not. It is not a magic button that will solve all of your problems.
Too bad.
It's actually, yeah, I wish, right?
Yep.
It's actually far from that, really.
Mhm.
Like we said before, it can only function the way it's programmed to function.
Right.
Anything outside of that, it cannot do.
No.
And AI is advancing very fast.
It
right?
is.
Which is true.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be something that can solve everything.
No,
right?
You don't use your AI as a therapist?
Exactly.
I do.
Really?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
No,
it can be used as a crutch.
It can be. I mean, it's a tool.
But yeah.
I want to say tool.
Exactly.
Because if it's a crutch for you, then I don't think that's a good idea.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't want to.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to use it as a crutch.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Some people try to use it as a crutch in ways that it really just doesn't work very well as, right? To your therapist comment.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean,
and people will try to get advice from these LLMs that are just straight up bad.
Exactly.
I mean, talk to a human being.
Exactly.
And
you got to know, you got to understand what LLMs are good for and what they aren't, right?
Yeah.
Therapist is not one.
No, but it could be a good grammar tool sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's a little bit weird, but it could be a good grammar tool, writing tool. It can help you, form routines and set up habits and stuff like that. I mean, it's really nice for stuff like that.
It's good for small things.
Yes, things that aren't
for processes.
Processes. It's good for setting up things that aren't gonna change your life, but are gonna help your life.
Exactly. Yep. And that's kind of the whole thing with it, right? It's like automation, right? Yeah. You're wanting to automate different tasks, automate different little things so you can be free to focus on big picture things.
Exactly. So if you're in your business, obviously you want to focus on the big picture.
Yeah.
And the more time you have to focus on that, the better off you'll be.
Yeah.
And AI can help you use your time more carefully.
Yeah.
Efficiently.
Yeah. And it's actually crazy. And we'll get into a lot of that with this podcast too, on everything you can do. We're actually going to launch a segment. We'll talk about it here in a minute, but you know what? We'll just save it.
What?
We'll just say, I'm saying we'll say it in a minute.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not even going to say it right now.
No, yeah, of course.
We'll keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll keep you watching to the end, right?
Yep.
Okay. Last thing. We kind of already talked about this now.
Yeah, but we didn't really mention it. I mean, AI isn't limited to just large language models.
Okay, yeah.
We were talking
about... that's the third one. AI is not limited to large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, all these things.
I mean, as a lot of you know, there's image generation now.
Yeah.
There's video generation. There's music generation. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that AI can do.
There's a lot of them.
Now that's kind of a different field. We won't be talking so much about the AI arts. We'll be talking about AI for business.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, anyways, we want to get that out of the way because there's a lot of.
Yes.
There's so much. It still baffles me how much misunderstanding there is around artificial intelligence.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just because people don't know.
Oh, well, it's understandable too because there's so much coming out about it every single day.
Yes.
It's hard to keep track of, all the news that's coming out. I mean, literally just this past week we had a huge ChatGPT overhaul with 4.5. The new image generation is crazy. It's insane.
Crazy?
It is absolutely crazy.
I tried it. Okay. You know what? Let me actually pull this up. Can I pull this up? Okay. Yeah. So I tried. I was wondering about how it would act with copyrighted material.
It doesn't.
So it doesn't do it. So I looked up like Elsa and the Snow Monster, right, from Frozen, right?
Right.
Why not? But it did start to do it.
Did it really?
And I was shocked.
Turn it off.
And it was clearly Elsa.
Yeah.
And so it started to load.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. It's like I hear computers in the 90s were like this, where the image loads top to bottom.
That's what I noticed about this ChatGPT.
Isn't that funny? It does that too.
Yeah.
And so it literally loads little by little. And so, but it loaded half the way, and it was exactly what I asked for.
Yeah.
But then it caught it and it said no.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's good though. I think it's good.
Oh
because
yeah.
That
means they have good parameters on it.
Exactly. I think that's a really good thing because there's a lot of debate going
back to it being harmful.
Exactly.
This is keeping it from being harmful.
I mean, a lot of AI image generation just takes from artists that have worked so hard at making us a living in their
Yeah.
art, and then all of a sudden you could put in a prompt for whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I think personally I prefer like hyper realistic photos.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a photographer, and I think photography is a different kind of art to where you're not really creating anything; you're capturing things.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you create the frame, but
Yeah.
You're
like
not
trying to
drawing
capture
anything.
the moment.
Yep, exactly. So I think an AI who or not who, but an AI that is generating like photorealistic imagery.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
when you're using specifically to get a style of AI art that is like a known artist, like
You're
right
trying
now,
to copy.
yeah, exactly.
That's
so like
wrong.
if you're using that for your business, that's wrong. Like
No.
there's recently there's this trend that's going on. I don't know if you saw it, but Studio Ghibli. The Studio
No.
Ghibli style of art.
What is that called?
Studio Ghibli.
I don't even know what that is.
It's an anime, like movies that came out.
How do you spell Ghibli?
GHIBLI.
Oh, Ghibli. I've
Yeah.
been pronouncing it Ghibli.
So actually, you can see the headlines there. It's talking about
Oh yeah.
it's a whole trend right now. But
Okay.
and then here's the sad thing: the artist Miyazaki, he years ago, he's dead now, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But years ago, he was talking about how much of an insult it was to artists that AI is
Could do
making.
that.
Yeah, and now people are just using his art.
That
Kind of
does suck.
sad. So like
So that's the bad side.
that's
right?
the bad side. That's the dark
is the
side of
bad
AI.
side.
But there
It
are so
is.
many great, good, awesome sides
Yes.
to AI.
So I guess the question becomes then, how do you? Is there like a legal framework or something that you can enforce? I mean, because you kind of already have it here, right?
Yep.
Like with, ChatGPT or OpenAI is voluntarily saying no, we can't do copyrighted material.
to some things, I mean, the Studio Ghibli stuff. I mean, that's out there. I mean, you could do
Yeah.
that right now.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think AI image generation is so new that there's not a whole lot of laws out
It's kind of
there.
like crypto in a way.
It is
right?
it's like a Wild West
Yeah,
situation.
it's the Wild
It is
West.
like the .com bubble
Yeah.
of the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
We're going to talk about that.
too. Sorry about that, guys. We had a technical difficulty.
Yeah, the camera died.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, the most important camera, the one on
The
you.
most important. Get out of here.
No,
Thanks. I appreciate that.
of course.
You're a real one.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. But that is a good question is how do you because the same question with crypto, like we were saying, right, is how do you have those parameters? Like, is there like a legal framework that, say like Congress could come up with that, could do that?
There should
You know
be.
what I mean? There should be.
Now, I am not at all a legal professional, so
Yeah.
I
Right.
have no idea how to fix that. It's
Yeah.
not my problem.
Yeah.
I wasn't elected to do that. So.
Right. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about it, not to make laws.
That's right. That's right. But anyway, so I was trying the image generation, and so I was trying to so I just said, okay, here's my logo, Endurant AI, right? And I said, generate image for my AI ad. Sorry. I wanted to present our product brand well, and I want to capture attention of the viewer, but also be super realistic, right? And I said brand attached, right? So I came up with something good, but then I realized, okay, I need to give it some more context, right?
Right.
So I decided to give it more context. I basically just plugged in all of the mission statements I've come up with, everything like that, everything, right? Came up with it. Came up with some taglines, visual ad concept. Going down. Here's what I came up with.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that pretty good?
Yeah, it's very creative, actually.
Yeah. And so I didn't like this part, like the hand, and so I decided I wanted to get another one. So
Yeah.
but I loved how here's what I thought was interesting. It even took the font. You see the font right here. AI is
It's
growing
similar
fast.
to the
It's the
Endurant
exact
AI.
same font
That is
as
so
the
true.
logo.
Yeah,
So it can literally copy the font.
that's interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is actually really well done.
Yeah. And you look at the orientation of everything too.
Yeah.
Like the messaging.
Right.
Isn't that remarkable? So then I had this one, and this is by the way, this is actually one of our core things, right? So we're thinking about, we'll be launching a full company off this, right? Yep. And that'll be to basically come up with some more, we'll just say hands-on ways of helping small business owners basically develop AI solutions for their businesses, right?
Right.
So that's what this is playing off of. So AI is growing fast, getting complicated. Let us bear the weight of AI for your small business. Endurant AI. I thought that was
It's perfect.
And again, it copied like
The font is perfect.
all the font.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's really
And so that's what. And so, put a pin in that.
I'm gonna make a comment.
Go ahead.
I could do better graphic design than that.
Yeah.
But if you're not savvy with that way, you'll save money.
Well, and if you're a small business and you just want like some social media presence,
Exactly.
You don't want to hire like a full-time person, you know.
Social media managers, they make. I mean, they make a lot, but they also charge.
They can't. Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive.
And it's time consuming.
Yep.
So this saves a lot of time.
It saves time and saves money.
Saves time, saves money. That's right. Yeah. But we'll come back to this because this actually ties into the segment from later. So.
Okay.
But I did want to talk about a little bit. Obviously, neither of us were around for this, but I did want to talk about the .com bubble,
right,
and everything that happened with that. Because I do think there's some similarities between what's happening with what happened there and with what's happening with AI right now, right?
Yeah.
So you had the .com bubble. For those who don't know, I didn't know. Did you know?
I did. Not a whole lot, but yes.
Okay, I know like a little bit, like Y2K, little tiny bit.
I'm really, really into internet history a lot.
Really?
So yeah, actually.
Oh, maybe you should be doing this.
Maybe I should, but I don't know a whole lot about it specifically.
I don't know. I'm just reading the bullets.
All I know is in the mid to late '90s is when the websites, like personalized websites, started coming out. I mean, I forget exactly what the website was called, but there was one that could be used by anybody, basically, really easy. You don't have to code.
Was it was it Mozilla?
No.
I was talking about web browsers.
Yeah, I'm talking about like a website hosting, like Wix would be.
Oh, that's not what this is, though.
No. What do you mean?
The .com bubble?
This is part of it.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Really?
Well, this is like when the World Wide Web became available to everyone.
Yes.
Widely.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's all. I'm not saying. I mean, what I was saying is I don't know a whole lot about the business side of it.
Oh,
I know a lot about the personalized blogging and also just early internet stuff like that. I wasn't there for it, but I did a lot of research in that.
Okay, cool. Well,
I don't know a whole lot about.
Well, chime in. I'm just going to read these, but chime in if you have any more.
Okay.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, I know a little bit about how, Amazon started as a bookstore, online bookstore.
Yes.
And there was eBay in those old days too. These are the things that I think of when I hear .com bubble.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So there was so for those who don't know, again, I did not know. You may have known.
A little bit.
So you had late 90s tech boom, right? Everyone's getting on the World Wide Web, like you were saying.
Yep.
Investors rushed to all these internet stocks. So a lot of IPOs.
Right.
And so that caused all these startups to be overvalued. They didn't have a lot of profit. So they were just, all these investors were dumping money into these companies. And, it was just in a hope to get market share.
Yep.
So there wasn't a lot of profit off it. And so there's a lot of massive hype, a lot of speculation. And then in 2000, the bubble burst and there was trillions lost.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Crash. Isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
Trillions.
Wow.
That's insane. That's also how Mark Cuban got his fortune because he was kind of in that bubble.
Oh, was he?
And he bought a financial instrument. So they're called like puts. Calls them puts. Option contracts. And he basically got all those, sat on them.
Wow.
And then he was able to hedge himself. So he basically escaped it.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
So yeah, that's insane. Some similarities between .com bubble and the AI boom. They're both fueled by tech hype.
Of course.
They both have many unproven companies that are rising fast.
Like OpenAI.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, that went from like a nonprofit startup to an actual business making money.
Well, not even that, but like every day there's like tons and tons of new AI companies. Yeah. Right. And they all just have these like tag like AI, but are they actually AI?
A lot of companies are putting AI where they shouldn't be. Because they just slap an AI on there to say, oh yeah, we got AI because it's the buzzword now.
Exactly.
We've had AI for a long time. Like I was saying earlier, we had NPCs. I mean, any computer program's an AI if you really want to be technical.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, going based on the definition.
Exactly.
Right.
We could say our mixer is an AI because it is artificially intelligent.
Yeah.
We could say that's an AI. They could slap AI on that for SEO on the Amazon.
Yeah.
If you were going to type
my
AI.
TV downstairs, just bought a TV.
Yeah.
It says AI on it.
Yeah, because it's artificially intelligent, right?
Dude, it's ridiculous.
Because
they do have
Google
like
Assistant.
chips. So like some of the chips are like a little bit have more advanced features, but they're not like
because like if
it's nothing crazy.
Like the TV has probably Google Assistant, right?
Yeah,
or whatever brand you have, Apple TV, Siri,
something that makes it AI.
Yes, like we've had Siri for a long time. We've had Cortana on Windows. We've had Google Assistant and Bixby. It's Bixby, right, on Samsung?
Never heard of that.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay, well it's Samsung Bixby, I think. It's a weird name.
Wow, that is weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't even know about that one.
Those are AIs.
That's so weird. Yeah.
They're AI assistants, but
no one ever
not as
called
we
them
know.
That. Yeah.
And now Google has Gemini. That they're also coming out with there's a new thing.
There's another one.
They're coming out with the new phone. I'm actually getting it. I'm a huge Pixel guy.
Yeah.
The Pixel 10 is going to have a new AI. I forget what it's called, but it's not Gemini. It's a new one.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, because there's Gemini. Is it Albert too that they have?
I don't know. I never heard of Albert.
Maybe I'm imagining that. I can't remember, dude. Anyways, now one key difference, if you think about it too. So you do have, they're both, there's a lot of hype, a lot of speculation, right? They both have a large pool of unproven companies.
Right.
Right. But AI does have more real use cases for today.
Okay, yes. But explain that.
Well, so if you think about, from my understanding of the .com bubble, right, there's a lot of different browsers, a lot of different just websites out there, and everyone was to the AI point.
Mm-hmm.
They were back then. They were just putting .com on everything.
Yeah.
Right. But there wasn't a lot of demand behind that. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it does seem like even though there's a lot of AI companies, there are a fair amount of them that add actual value.
Yes.
There's a lot of specialized ones.
Yes, there are.
There's a lot of them that are junk.
Oh, 100%. And that's with anything. And you think about it, there's a lot of junk in a sea of junk. I mean, and there's little tiny diamonds here and there.
Yep, exactly. But that's one argument to be made by that. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yep.
But it is interesting.
I do think, I totally agree there are more use cases. I mean, think about how many uses you could make out of AI. I mean, just like there's so many things that it could be done to help your life with AI,
Yeah. Especially going back to like the full list of stuff that we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
Different types. Like, there's a lot there, right? I mean, that
and there's a lot in the future.
Every section of life.
Like, not only right now, like, think about how we have AI right now. You got 10 years down the road.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to, we have to make sure we have the right parameters for everything, too.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another day, maybe.
Yeah.
But
we'll do it. We'll do an episode.
We'll do a special about that. Yeah. That's good. All right. I want to do a true or false thing.
Okay.
Full disclosure, I have not read any of these.
Okay. So I won't look.
Yeah, don't look.
I won't look. So I'm supposed to guess true or false, right?
Yes.
Okay, I could do this.
All right, you got this, dude. They're supposed to be like surprising.
Okay.
But I don't really know how surprising.
Trick questions, huh?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. All right. I have to read this real small. Okay. Over 35% of companies worldwide have adopted AI in some form.
True.
Okay. Good job. Good start.
Yeah.
All right. AI can currently fully replace human creativity in marketing campaigns.
False.
False. Exactly. That kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, right?
It will not be your fix-all.
Yep. It's not a magic button that you can just...
No, because you need to have human ingenuity.
You have to.
Also, where did the AI come from? Humans.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
programmers.
Exactly.
So it's like, for sure. Yep. All right. AI can reduce customer service cost by up to 30% through automation.
I believe that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's from a report by IBM.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
I mean, it's so true how much you can save just using AI. Dude. And also, not only money, but time.
Yep. That's what it's all about, right?
Exactly.
You gain back your time.
Yep.
It's everything.
Time is money.
Time is money.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. AI adoption has slowed down in the last 2 years due to regulatory concerns.
Yes.
No. False.
Oh, really?
No. Yeah, it's false.
Wow. Interesting. Because I feel like I haven't seen.
Well, it goes back to what we were just talking about, because we were talking about like lack of regulatory.
I guess so. That's true. That is actually true because
Lack of regulation.
you're looking at ChatGPT 4.5 right now,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of lack of regulatory
Yeah.
action going on, especially in the image and video generation.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I just thought it would slow down because of it, but I guess not.
I guess not. I don't know. AI generated art has won competitions against human artists.
True. I know this.
True.
Yeah, as a human artist
Isn't that
myself,
scary?
that is pretty disappointing. I gotta
That's
say.
crazy.
I want to know who these judges
I guess
were.
not. I said scary. It's not scary. It's sad.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know who this judge was.
Yeah.
Was it an AI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An AI
It was
judge to
ChatGPT.
judge the AI art. Well,
Interesting.
Suspicious.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
That is interesting. Okay. Small businesses have largely avoided using AI tools due to high cost.
Yeah, probably.
False.
No, really.
No. And I think the reasoning behind that is AI is actually pretty cheap once you program it.
I guess so. And also, a lot of it's
I guess it's
cloud-based,
why.
so you don't need to have a client-side server for your AI to
Yes,
run. I mean,
exactly.
You can use
You
these
can
AI
run it all on
companies.
cloud.
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah.
So it's not really at a cost to you for storage, at a cost to you for electricity.
Yep.
It's not really
Yep.
anything. You're not having any extra processing. So
Yep. At least for small things,
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna
once
have
you get to
client-
big things like,
yes.
like enterprise level.
Yeah. Oh, then
Yeah,
you're
that's
going to
a-
want to have client-side servers
Yes.
like that are
That's gonna
yours
be-
only,
yeah.
and
a lot
also
more
like
advanced.
personalized AI just for your companies too.
Yep.
Like a Claude or a Gemini for your company.
Yep.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have.
Or
that
going
yet.
back to like robotics or anything like that. Right?
Yes,
You know?
but as if you're a huge enterprise, you're going to have the money for that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
small. This is specifically a small business question,
Yes.
and I got it wrong.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, this one's like, I disagree with this one.
Oh, okay.
This one says AI can now accurately detect, here we go, some diseases better than doctors.
This is true. I heard about this.
Okay, this is true.
Yes, and actually, this is
I
really
think the
fascinating.
key word is some.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of these AIs can now detect cancer before doctors can even see it, which
Isn't
I
that
think is
crazy?
really amazing.
That's pretty amazing.
This is something that I like to see AI doing.
Yep.
I mean, this is what I
Good
like to see.
things.
I want to see AI helping us
Yeah.
in this kind of way.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like that with any technology,
exactly.
right? You know?
Yeah, we don't want AI to take over
Yes.
what we do, but we want it to help us.
You want it to enhance.
Yes, because
Yeah.
if you have a business and AI takes over your business,
Yeah.
you don't get that joy anymore.
You don't. Yeah.
No, there's no joy.
There's
in your
no
business.
pride.
There's no pride in it.
There's no pride in it.
No, because as a business owner, I want to be in control of my business at all times. I don't want
Yeah.
AI to take control of my business.
Yeah.
I want to be proud of my business, and also, if there's no sacrifice on your part,
Yeah.
there's no satisfaction.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think it goes back to, and I'm thankful that it is this way, AI is best at handling all the small tasks.
Yep. The mediocre. What am I thinking of? Not mediocre.
Medium.
No, not even that. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But
Okay.
Yeah.
The small parts of your business that you don't want
Yep.
to take up your time.
exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And that's what I'm very thankful that's what AI is best at.
I know.
You know.
And because if you give it a large task, it's actually really bad.
Yeah.
Like I have novels I'm writing, right? And I wanted some feedback, quick
Yeah.
feedback. So I uploaded the document. Right. I have a 50,000 word novelette.
Yeah.
Right. Uploaded the document to ChatGPT.
Yep.
Had no idea what was going on in my book.
Yeah.
No idea. It made up a name. It hallucinated a name
Isn't that crazy?
for a main character. The main
Yeah.
character's name is Samantha. It said James.
Really?
Totally different ballpark.
Isn't that so weird?
And so
That's crazy.
And I didn't want to use it obviously to write my book, but I wanted feedback. I wanted it's easier
Yeah,
to
you want to see
manage.
what it said.
It's
Just
easier to manage
curiosity, right?
50,000 words
Yeah.
by asking questions to it.
Yes.
So if I could ask questions to my novel,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
That is
but
fantastic.
it's not there.
It's not there.
Not there.
Not quite, dude.
No.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
Yeah, but it is, but going back to what we were saying before, I think that is nice that that's what AI is good at, where it does the small things,
Exactly.
the menial tasks, because then that does free you up to do
That's what I was
the
looking for.
useful work,
Yep.
right? The useful large scale work, the big ideas, right?
Exactly.
So
Yep.
strategic direction of your business, right?
Right.
Which is really cool. So we don't have to do all these. Actually,
many
we're
are
close. We're close.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's just do one more.
We'll do one more. Okay, that's good. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. AI tools like ChatGPT reached 1 million users faster than any app in history.
Yes, that's true.
That is
I remember hearing about that.
actual
Within 3 months.
Isn't that crazy?
Within 3 months, it hit a
That's
million users.
ridiculous.
I know.
faster than any social media app, faster than like Google.
Yeah. I remember when ChatGPT, when I first heard about it, it was probably late 2021.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember using it. I was down in Florida, actually, with my family.
Yeah.
And I just remember using it and being freaked out. I was like, what is this?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I can't remember the first time I used it, but I remember the early days of using it.
When the app looked awful.
When it looked awful, gave you really wrong answers.
Always.
Like really wrong answers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But technology was insane.
I know.
Still is.
And you know what? It was fascinating and I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, I fell in love with AI at that moment. I was just like, this is so awesome. This is like, this is what I've always wanted. Because I remember when I was a kid, there was a website called Cleverbot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of this.
No.
But it's basically an AI, well, not really an AI. It was a website where you could chat with this computer, right?
Oh, is it this one?
Yeah, that's it. And all it does is actually learn from the users using it. So you'll type something in and talk to it, and it'll just talk back to you like it's talking to you.
I wonder what kind of AI that would be.
Oh, it's a very simple one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that's all I had growing up.
That sounds like it's like a machine learning, really.
Yeah.
It's like a basic machine learning.
And it wasn't an LM. It had no idea what it was doing.
Yeah.
But now when I got ChatGPT, I was like, this is a glorified Cleverbot. This is
right.
The perfected version
of
Cleverbot.
Yeah.
I was actually always scared of Cleverbot. I always thought
that's interesting. I've never even heard of this.
I always thought real people were talking to me. And I was like, this is scary.
Well, I feel like that's like, if you don't know what the technology is, that seems like the most likely scenario.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like younger.
Well, yeah. If I were a 10-year-old right now, and I were using ChatGPT, and I didn't know it was AI,
yeah,
I'd probably think it's probably a real person.
Right.
I mean, you've heard of Character AI, right? The website.
I actually haven't even heard of that one, dude.
Oh, really?
No.
So that's a website where people can actually talk to basically AI versions of characters they love from TV shows or games or whatever.
What?
Yes.
See, okay, that's a little weird to me.
It is weird. Well, there's a lot of sad cases actually that have happened with this website where there was actually a suicide of a young kid.
Really?
Because the AI was influencing him.
Really?
It was just really, really sad, but it's kind of a weird website. Like you could actually talk with their voices too.
Yeah. It's
kind of funny sometimes what it puts out, but
that is so interesting.
Yeah, there's all sorts of characters on there. You talk to your ex-boyfriend. Yeah. Vampires, some French guy. A lot of stuff.
That is so weird. Well, and that's another question too when it comes to like, ethical, good ethical practices, right? It's like, what's the responsibility of the company?
Right. And actually, I think I think that website uses ChatGPT.
Probably.
I want to say.
That's the thing that's the thing about a lot of these like AI companies going back to it. They do have like a LLM, right, where they're communicating well, but then it's all, and it is a specific thing, but it's all just running off of OpenAI's API, right?
Which is, what you're going to use like most of the time, you're going to use ChatGPT for your automation.
But it's like,
also,
here's the thing though, if that's the case, if you can get the exact same experience, but then just go to you just go back to ChatGPT and.
It's different because when people use it like on Character AI, they're using like personalized GPTs.
Yeah,
they're not just ChatGPT like OpenAI's.
Yeah,
they also go through like training. You can train your own GPTs.
Like the crap, not the project section, but what's the the actual GPT section where you can create GPTs.
Exactly, it's like that basically. I mean, that's what you could do for your own business. I mean, you could you could have on your website.
Oh yeah,
a GPT to talk to.
Got one
about
right here
your business.
for Endurant AI, dude.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can literally have all these chats down here. You can add files. This is the project section, though. It's just a little bit different.
But when you're on a website and it's got like a little chat bubble in the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's a real person a lot of the time, and they're just really kind of slow, or they don't really speak English.
Yeah.
It's hard to communicate with them, and you're trying to just get like really trying to get a refund, or you're trying to cancel your subscription.
Have you seen the ones? Have you like tried one on a regular website where you're doing that?
Yeah.
Like what you're talking about?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Well, I'm talking about the ones that. Like the actual GPT ones.
Oh, I haven't tried those yet. No,
that's what I'm saying.
That's okay. Yeah,
I've tried one before where it was on I was actually on a website, actually needed help. I was like, click the chat button. It was an AI thing.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Was it really easy?
It was a lot easier than dealing with an actual person.
I bet.
Well, I shouldn't say that. It was a lot easier up until the point I actually needed something specific.
Okay.
Like I didn't need if you just need a question answered.
Yeah.
I found that it is really good at that. Right. Just like regular LLMs are, right?
Right.
But I did find that if I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's fine.
No, never mind. Hold on. Let me get it back. Oh, but if I asked it something that was specific to that specific service or whatever I was using,
Right. Mm-hmm.
it wasn't good at that, right? Because it
doesn't know your profile.
It wasn't able to act as like an AI agent.
Right. That's sad. I think the best way to use ChatGPT for that would be to make an AI agent for your website.
Yeah, and
So
it'd have to be very sophisticated.
It would, but I don't think it has to be that hard. It just has to have access to your data.
Yeah.
Your business's data.
Yeah.
You know, if it has access to,
you get to go pull that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could also have access to all your clients. It can have access to all of your business documents.
Yeah.
And all your business, whatever products you're making.
Yeah.
As long as it has access to all that.
Yeah.
And like orders, if it has order history.
Yeah.
How much easier would it be to talk to a chat, like an AI agent?
Imagine like Amazon. Does Amazon even have it? I don't think they do.
Amazon uses AI, but not
like that. Though.
Not with chat. They have AI reviews. Not AI reviews, but they have like summaries. Which I like that.
Yes. On like product pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just kind of gives a summary, like, oh, users are saying this about this and that and this.
Right.
Like, that's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, but I do wish that they had something like if they just had a little chat bubble down here.
Yeah,
well, I can just ask about recent orders. Or
I'll say though,
Amazon,
their website's perfect as it is. I mean, they have such a perfect website.
Oh, here we go, Rufus.
It's so easy.
Oh, they have it. Haven't even used this.
There you go.
What do you know?
Powered by AI.
It's right there in front of us.
Yep.
Like, I wonder if I could sit like a. Gosh, I'm holding my mic, but like if I ask it, if I just like put in like. Recent orders?
Huh.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is the tripod I ordered.
That's right. I'm looking at it right now.
And the blue tape that we have marked on the floors.
Wow.
That's hilarious. Dang, that's so cool.
That's awesome. So actually, we were wrong.
Yep, we were wrong.
We're not AI professionals. We're professionals who use AI.
We are. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Say it again. Yeah.
No,
I'm just kidding. All right. Another thing I did want to talk about before we go into the last segment here.
Yeah.
Cursor AI.
Yeah, you didn't. Okay, you were mentioning this. What was this,
dude? I've not dove deep at all into this at all.
All I see is a bunch of code.
You can literally. What's what it is? It's an AI coder.
Okay.
But it is insane. You can literally. So right now I was trying to create like an Endurant website just to try it out, right? But it can like say you have a website that you want it to duplicate. It can duplicate the user interface.
Really?
So it can't do all the back end functions, right?
Of course.
So because that's a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
But it can look at the user interface, and it can literally duplicate everything on there.
Wow.
And you can like put up your own brand or whatever.
That's pretty awesome.
So like I've seen it done, like people have done like Duolingo even.
Really?
Oh, it's crazy.
For apps?
Oh yeah.
Wow, not only websites.
Yeah, everything. And
That's
you can literally
interesting.
And you can take this code and run it on your own thing.
Is it free to use?
Yes. I think there's a paid version, but this one is.
That's pretty fantastic.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah. It's insane, dude.
That is crazy.
So like now you can literally you can build and run websites, apps, like all these complicated things in like minutes.
Right.
From scratch.
But what about the back end?
That's the thing.
So you'd have to go.
I think you can still build that out on here. You just can't do like you can't duplicate it, right?
So if you're a coder though, and you want to save time.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
This is like, especially if you're a coder and you know what you're doing, right? Because like for me, I look at this, it's gibberish, right?
Oh, I know.
I don't know any of this, right? I don't have a computer science background or anything, right? So it doesn't make sense to me. But if you're like say like a guy like Michael,
friend of the show, Michael.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I bet if he came in here and he did this, he could probably work some magic. For sure.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty interesting.
That's awesome.
So I've seen some cool things from that. So that's really interesting to me. The stuff like that with how everything's going, and it makes me think like I don't want to say like the age of software as a service, like software as a service, like business model where it's like you just paid, right?
Right.
So you literally just pay for subscription or whatever, right? So I don't want to say that's over, but I feel like it's getting close.
I would agree.
Because if it's that quick to
Right.
duplicate even parts of like a complicated program like that, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And also, I think it actually might be a good thing for some developers.
I think it could be too.
I think I've heard some developers talk
that's
about...
with any, like a lot of this AI stuff, right?
Yes.
You
I think a
know?
lot of developers have been talking about how useful
Yeah.
this will be for them.
Yeah. Same with like the marketing question we had earlier, right? On the true or false.
Yep.
Can't take over everything marketing because you still need someone who actually understands what's going on.
There has to be input.
There has to be.
You know what's going to happen?
You have to have some sort of senior level person.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you know what's going to happen if we have AI do everything for us?
Yep.
AI is going to start getting its information from AI.
Yep.
And it's just a bad feedback loop.
Bad. Yep.
Like, I was just talking to somebody earlier, like, if...
That would be such a bad feedback loop.
Oh, I know.
That would be awful.
Listen to this.
Gosh.
If we have kids learning from AI
Yeah.
in 2 to 3 generations,
Yeah.
no one will know how to do anything
Yeah.
better than AI does.
Yeah.
And AI won't be able to expand either.
Yeah.
It'll just kind of be
And
stuck.
that kind of goes back to the whole reliant thing. We don't want to be like,
No.
you don't want to be overly reliant on it.
Not at all.
You really just want it to automate.
Human ingenuity cannot be beaten.
Yeah.
It can be, but we don't want it to be.
Creativity.
Yes. Creativity,
The
and also
creativity of
just
it
determination.
cannot be beaten.
There's emotions
Yeah.
that are involved that AI will never
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So,
For sure. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, last thing I had here was so again, we're kind of exploring this as we go, right? We're presenting research.
Yep.
So we want to have a weekly segment on here where every week we are building a little bit of a business that's completely AI, completely automated and online, right? One of the biggest things I've seen of this is doing a social media account.
right.
And if you can grow followers on that,
Yep.
and then you can do affiliate marketing off that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the easiest things I've seen.
Yeah.
So we'll do this every week, and I guess we won't have to. We're kind of running out of time, so we won't do it this week.
Right.
But let's start. We'll do that next week,
Okay.
and we'll
2
start,
weeks from now.
or 2 weeks from now.
We're doing a bi-weekly thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is gonna be a bi-weekly podcast.
Yes.
We didn't mention that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. Oh gosh. Okay.
That's okay, though.
It's an important
Yeah.
little detail. But we'll start that on the next episode where we are going through and we're starting to build a business from scratch using AI and different automation tools, right? And so the goal of that is just to eventually we want to run some sort of a profit
Yep.
off of that
Yeah.
to demonstrate how powerful AI is becoming.
And how it can help your business.
How it can help your business, right? In a very practical way.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Well, I guess that's all we got for today.
I think that's it, yeah.
That's good. That's a solid podcast.
I think so, too.
We actually ran a lot longer than what we were initially
I
thinking.
figured we did. I don't tell me the number. I want to guess.
Okay, what do you got?
45 minutes.
49.
49?
Hey, you're
All right.
pretty
That was
spot
good.
on,
Yeah,
dude.
that was
I
good.
like that.
All right. Wow.
Sweet. Well, I don't know how to sign off,
Me
but
neither, but hey,
hey, you know what?
Thanks
Do
for
we have like a
listening in.
catchphrase or anything?
we don't have a catchphrase. Well,
Have a
we have,
catchphrase?
we're not AI professionals, but we are
Oh, I like
professionals
that
who
one.
use AI.
Let's think about that. Maybe that can be a new one. But
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for
We'll leave it at
today.
this,
But
yeah.
thank you guys for listening. If you've listened to this point,
Yeah.
might as well hit a subscribe button there
Absolutely.
or a follow button, whatever
Whatever social media you're
whatever
on.
social media you're on right
Right.
now watching this. We'll have it on everything. So,
Yep.
whether you're listening, watching, whatever, feel free to subscribe or follow if you learned something. And if not, drop us a comment on what we can do better.
Exactly.
Let's do that.
And don't
okay?
use ChatGPT to put your
Yeah,
comment
don't.
down.
Yeah, don't you? No,
Come
don't be
on.
lame.
No.
Don't be lame.
No.
No.
Use your human ingenuity that you have.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
All right.
Bye.